Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Sammy. Do you want to heal yourself? Do you have or suffer from ongoing issues that don't seem to go away despite medication or despite your efforts? We humans are miraculous beings. We are capable of more than we ever consider. We are conditioned, though, to think we are incapable of healing ourselves. So when I say healing ourselves, I'm not really talking about growing another limb that's been amputated, although you'll think I'm crazy, but I wouldn't put it past anyone. Our abilities that we are capable of are only limited by our thoughts. That, our thoughts, is precisely the key, the decider to our ability to heal ourselves. Why do some people suffer more than others? Well, I'm reducing an entire topic that could be discussed for hours into a very shortened time period, but basically our thoughts, which are largely supported by our experiences and the conditioning patterns created during our formative years, these greatly determine our beliefs and thoughts. Then, if we consider what we add to these, we may then realize how and why we need to begin our healing with our mind. Consider that we already have between 6,000 to 10,000 thoughts per day. We are not even aware of most of these. What are we feeding our mind? If we want to get our thoughts into a healing state, we need to consider what we are feeding it. Doesn't that sound reasonable? Just like an athlete would choose to support their body by feeding it healthy food and taking the best care of themselves, we should do the same with our minds or thoughts. Do you think top athletes tell themselves they aren't good enough, but they'll just have a go? No, they too feed their mind what they need to get the results they want. So to make our mind or our thoughts healthy, we need to be conscious of what it is feeding on. Television is one of the most commonly accepted ways to subconsciously fill our mind with self-depreciating thoughts, fears, and negative information. We're even encouraged to do this as a form of relaxation, such a destructive tool that we, myself included, have believed was a form of relaxing to make ourselves feel better. Such a complete oxymoron. The way we talk or use words can also be pivotal to your overall health. But to see this means you absolutely have to begin to pay attention to the way you think. Generally, you begin to notice as the words are spoken, rather than as they form in your mind. And even before we notice in ourselves, we often begin by noticing in others, how they speak about themselves, how people put themselves down, how they make fun of themselves by using humour or simply stating self-depreciating statements. We need to understand that our brain is like a computer. We feed it information, and that information is what it has to work with. If we continually tell ourselves we'll probably get cancer, then chances are we probably will. If we are afraid of getting cancer, then we're probably thinking about it even more, simply because we're afraid and conscious of this fear, and basically our thoughts manifest our environment, so very likely it will develop. Why do we waste our thoughts on whatever we don't want, when we could instead generate our thoughts into thinking much more often about what we do want? That is actually how we get what we want. We get what we think about, our desires or fears. So really, we should try to turn our minds from being filled and fueled with fears to instead being filled and fueled with our dreams and positive affirmations. I recently read that positive thoughts aren't really what spirituality is about, and that made me think, and immediately I went to acceptance. I accept that for anyone else, but not for me. I want to become the best version of myself, and to do so, I begin with my mind. I do my best most of the time, to feed my mind with positivity or gratitude. I'm trying not to live in fear anymore, and I could so easily fall back into that space if I chose to listen to the television, especially programs like Current Affairs or World News, especially daily. These are things that mostly I can do nothing about other than send love or prayer, so I choose not to listen or tune into that information. I'm sure many people would regard me as ignorant because of this simple, easy to do way to positively enliven my state of being. But I try not to worry about what other people think about me anymore most of the time. This is an area that I have to continually work on though, as I'm sure most of us do. I suppose also tuning out could also create anxiety in some people who are habitually programmed to tune in. But like any addiction, especially those that are conditioned into us, you may need to find a way to break the pattern. Breaking a pattern requires a deep dive within ourselves to understand why and hopefully discover where it all began. This deep dive has many terms. I call it shadow work, as it's referred to in spiritual language, but it's also called introspection, a search within for understanding of our emotional and mental states. Before you embark on this, it's helpful to gain control of your thoughts. Begin by taking notice. Listen to the words you automatically use when you talk. This choice to begin to pay attention is a practice that thankfully becomes easier, and gradually it then begins to occur before we even speak. It is simply becoming aware of our thoughts and choosing to change those thoughts, words, reactions, responses to a healthier consciousness. I 100% believe we are capable of healing our bodies, but if we don't practice a healthy mind state, it may not happen. Even the words that I use here for this purpose, I try my best to be unlimiting. Why would I want to limit my thoughts? Why would I not want to believe in possibilities? Why would I want to control and limit situations? Mindfulness, becoming conscious of your thoughts, is not necessarily simple, but it is as simple as that. If you want to heal yourself, you have to be aware. Once upon a time, I used to finish speaking or writing with good luck. I personally don't believe in luck. I believe my mind creates my reality, and chance hasn't played a part there. I determine my reality with my own thoughts. So good practicing conscious awareness. Good practicing conscious awareness. You can do anything you set your mind to. Believe in yourself. Love is the answer.